only topic you really wanted to get into here today for the Iowa Wild. Clearly, they cleaned house. Tim Army and crew are not returning. What are you looking for in the next coach that comes in? And I mean, if you have any guys in mind, by all means.
No one in mind specifically, but like in terms of just an overall philosophy in the game, I would love to just see somebody able to come in and let the young guys have big time roles on the team. Like, we're not gonna go put Adam Beckman. Not saying that he did that this year, but in years past, it's kind of been like that old school, like stereotypical old guy fucking hockey, where it's like you're gonna go learn to develop on the fourth line. It's like, all right, Adam Beckman, go hang out with Cody McLeod and Brandon Baddock on the fourth line, and I expect you to score goals somehow. Like, I would love to see them play just like a little bit more, I mean, like free, like fun hockey instead of just like, because I mean, I'll be honest, there are games where they're very fun to watch, because one thing that he does is he gets them going. Like, they're working their bag off every goddamn game. Like, there were so many games last season specifically where they were like Minnesota, where they were just like these ridiculous last minute comebacks and they'd win in overtime or whatever. So like they love the guy. They love Tim Army. He's a very funny ass dude. I think he has a permanent voice loss from screaming so much. But like they work for him. They fucking work hard. But I would just love to see a little bit more just like fun, free flowing hockey versus like go learn to do this part of the game out of Beck. Like specifically, every time I come back to Beckman. But I don't know. It's interesting. I wasn't totally shocked because I mean he's been there for how long? They've made the playoffs twice. Realistically, they haven't had like a lot of years where they've got top end talent. In the last couple of years, a lot of those guys have ended up going to Minnesota and not going back. Like you're looking at Matt Boldy, Connor Dewar, Brandon Duhaime, like those guys that were like really good for him in fucking Iowa. And then they're dealing with the lineup change, whatever. But at the same time, like there were a lot of guys that came here too. It's like, all right, you do this thing. Like you're grinding. Like it's like I don't want someone that's going to turn a guy again like Adam Beckman into like a bottom six grinder.
But I think that's the perfect point though, Z, because I think Matt Boldy's the outlier. I think Army's done a really good job of churning out bottom six guys. We haven't really seen him do anything with the quote unquote blue chippers, right? And
a lot of those guys in the past, before Guerin and like Judd Brackett too, like a lot of those guys, like some of those fucking draft picks, and like some of the guys, they had a real nice track record of like trading prospects super early or giving up their first round picks for like making like
for Martin Holmstrom.
Oh God, I will never forget that one. That one hurts. So I was like, you're fucking nuts. Okay, sure. Let's just do this, I guess. Let's give up whatever. I do think like they've also remained fairly competitive since Army's been there. And again, like that team fucking works their bag off. And like you said, given some of the talent they've gone up against in the past too, he's done a real good job of, like you said, churning out guys that can grind in the NHL. And I think his general approach of, I hope when he tells guys, I hope you get called up and we never see you again. A lot of times, like, especially the last couple of years, either that's happened or guys that haven't stuck but like played really well, it's because there's just no spot permanently. Like, down goes the mic and it's falling apart now. But like there's just been no spot for it. Like they're filling in for an injury or whatever. But I think largely a lot of times guys will come up from Iowa and like look pretty good in whatever role. But I don't know. I would just like to see a little bit almost like less structure, to be honest. But at the same time, that I think about it, I don't really know how that'll go.
Well, it's the Marty St. Louis coaching structure, right? It's like, don't tell them that they have to do this exact like fucking system. Give them a framework and let them be creative within that framework. Like that is for sure something that would be nice to inject in some manner.
I'll be very curious to see what they go with, like who they go with.
There's a couple of names that got dropped today as like being evaluated. I know Brett McLean was one. Don't recall who else, but yeah, we'll obviously keep tabs in the coming weeks here. We're going to be going for 5 in a row next week, which would be just fucking bonkers.
Simmer down.